All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on the 9070 XT. You know, guys, whatever happened on Thursday, it kind of just sent me into a freaking mood that I was like, dude, I'm getting to the point where PC gaming might not be worth the hassle. And that's kind of stupid and short-sighted for me to say, because that's the first real problem that I'd had with PC gaming that was so frustrating. Well, I don't know, Spider-Man 2 coming out and crashing the PC, you know, and doing something to the SSD that I had in there before. I probably could have just re-downloaded. Well, no, because I did. I re-downloaded Windows. I don't know, man. 22 or 24H2 has been nothing but an interesting experience for sure. So guys, it's been all weekend. I was able to play and beat South of Midnight on the 9070 XT. I've been sitting here doing some other recordings, just checking out some games, going back through and looking at things. And I've got to this point where everything seems to be just a little bit smoother than it was before. I don't know, man. I would really hate to say that it was, you know, hey, the motherboard is what fixed it. And there's a reason for that. I don't want to be like, yeah, man, I bought a new motherboard, it fixed the problem, because I see other people having the same problem that I'm having with my MSI Tomahawk 650 or B650 motherboard, Wi-Fi motherboard, and I don't want to tell you to, hey, go out and buy a new motherboard because that fixed my problem. So at the end of the day, I did replace the memory, I did replace the motherboard, I updated the motherboard to the newest BIOS update. So guys, here's the thing though, on the old motherboard, before I swapped it, I had updated it to the newest BIOS too. So and that didn't solve my problem. That didn't solve my problem back then. And I had put the new memory that I bought. I bought the new memory kit and I put that in the old motherboard. So we're looking at, you know, could have just been, you know, well, I'm not going to say it was Windows either, because I didn't have to reinstall Windows. That was going to be the next thing on the list. But just updating the BIOS on the motherboard seems to have worked. But when I look at that motherboard, when I look at that box, the new one that I bought says it's already 9000 ready, so it already had a BIOS for the 9000 series chips. So that there's something to look at and to take into consideration, that it could have been the motherboard, the faulty motherboard, because once I updated them BIOS, man, that thing just stopped freaking. It stopped booting into anything. It wouldn't do anything. So I was like, what the freak is going on with this thing? So then I get to a point now where it's like, you know, everything's running smooth, everything, in my opinion. Okay, and this is my opinion. This is just from my experience from seeing my games, going back and playing some Assassin's Creed Shadows, some of that stuff, and seeing a more consistent, you know, experience across the board on this new motherboard. I'm kind of feeling like maybe the other motherboard might have had some sort of a hardware issue, but at the same time, it could have just been the brand new BIOS that's brought out a lot more performance for this card. For this build, for the 7800X3D, for the 9070 XT, that's possible too, because my I hadn't updated my BIOS once. You know, guys, a lot of times they say, hey, if you're not experiencing massive problems, don't update your motherboard BIOS. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. If my system is smooth and it's running good with the CPU, with everything that I've got in it right now, technically I shouldn't need a motherboard BIOS update if there's not something drastically wrong. I do get the fact that keeping everything up to date and doing all of that stuff, usually I'm pretty on top of that. I usually do my best to keep everything updated, but at the same time, I listen to stuff like that that's like, hey man, if you're not experiencing problems, maybe don't update it. But then when 24H2 came out, that's when I started experiencing the problems with, you know, like more like I had never had my AMD system crash as much as it did after that update. It's not been like super horrible, but it crashes like every once in a while. Like it'll crash, and I'm like, what the freak is going on with this gosh dang PC? Because that is the most unstable, and this started with 9070 XTX or 7900 XTX in there as well. So I know it's not like the GPU or whatever, or at least it's still, you know, it started pre getting the 9070 XT, so something was fishy. Something was going on with the Windows. I've noticed a few times that I'd get in there and it'd like download a new driver setting for my GPU. It would just download whatever drivers it wanted to. It would change things. So I get the fact that, like, you know, the whole going through things and troubleshooting PC stuff, like, yeah, obviously that's something that you're going to have to learn to do. And I'm not opposed to it per se, but at the same time, guys, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if it catches me on the right day, I'm okay with it. But like when I'm in the middle of trying to do something, that's just annoying. That's absolutely freaking annoying. And I would say that the AMD 9070 XT is a pretty big part of this channel. Like that's a pretty big part of the content. Is that build, is that GPU, is that freaking system. That's a pretty big part of the channel. Yeah, obviously the 5070 Ti is up and running, and I can definitely create other content using that for sure. I can create NVIDIA content, but I'm gonna be real with you. My NVIDIA content has never done anywhere near as close to as good as the AMD content. So it's not that it's a waste of time to create that. It is more of a tool, and you know, I wanted to be able to show the experience 9070 XT versus 5070 Ti. That to me is more interesting than just sitting here making content saying, oh yeah, AMD is better. No, I want to show you. I want you to be able to see, you know, from a consumer point of view. I'm not a tech expert. I want you to see from a consumer point of view how these two different builds operate. And, you know, it had crossed my mind the other day when I was experiencing those problems. I'm like, look, maybe I should just start buying pre-builts again. Maybe I should have just bought a 9070 XT pre-built. You know, let somebody else deal with that. And then if I have a problem, I just ship the whole thing out. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's crazy too. But at the same time, like, I'm not against pre-builts. I'm really not. I never really have been. I think that they definitely serve a purpose. And right now in the current market, guys, it is easier to get a pre-built with the card you want than it is to buy one. And like, you're looking at the prices of these cards, the price of the whole pre-built is usually, I mean, gosh dang, man, you can literally get a whole pre-built for the price of like a 5080. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you look at some of these prices and you're like, wow, dude, this doesn't even make sense. It's almost like we're being forced into buying pre-builts because that way they can save money, or I don't know. That way maybe they can keep the costs lower that way, and that might be the future. You know, maybe they just kind of move away from selling you just outright GPUs and start, you know, selling you just full on freaking pre-builts every few years. At this point, man, if we're paying $2,000 for a freaking GPU and we can get a nice pre-built for like $3,000 that runs and it's optimized, like, at this point, dude, I don't know. That might be the future for PC gaming, man. Like, we might literally be at a point where we're going to have to buy like pre-builts just to get the cards that we want. So guys, yeah, thanks for watching. Everything seems to be okay now. I've got it up and running. We're doing really well. As you can see, I took some time and I put some shelves right above me so that I can showcase all my pretty stuff, all my stuff. So yeah, guys, it's kind of cool, you know, going through a little bit of like changing things up a little bit to make the studio look a little better. So as you can see, I got the green lights on. Green looks pretty nice. I was playing an Xbox game, so I had the green on there. So yeah, guys, South of Midnight, pretty cool. Had an incredible time playing through that. I uploaded the whole gameplay for 9070 XT, running that on the I didn't have a frame rate counter on the whole time because it was kind of distracting, but yeah, guys, had a good weekend. I was able to play that game. I really enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun with that. So, man, what an experience, man. PC never ceases to amaze me. It's always something, my friend. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.